Hi Pisces. So this is my first series doing a separate reading for every zodiac sign. Please let me know what you think. I know there are a lot of people, readers on YouTube already who do that, so I don't want to be doing anything unless I'm adding value. So let me know what you think or any ideas you have as to how we can move forward with that. This spread is one that I put over on the Patreon as bonus content for Mercury Retrograde, which starts today. It is in Gemini and then it moves into Taurus. So the first couple of questions are more geared to communication, and the next is more about flexibility. This is a 3-card spread, but we're doing it as 5 because I'm adding in the Signifier, which is a card for you, and the Shadow card, which is the bottom of the deck, and it's like the hidden elements. Thank you for liking, subscribing, commenting, sharing with anyone you think could benefit from these types of readings. For more examples of my readings, there is a playlist that they'll show you at the end of the video for readings for the collective, and also you can go to my social media. If you want a personal reading from me, then you can go to my website or email me. I will not contact you, and if you are approached by anyone pretending to be me or any other reader asking you to give you a reading, please know that they're most definitely not a real reader. So we are going to be starting with a card that represents you. Card for Pisces. Oh, the fish. So that is the Queen of Cups, which is already very much a water sign card, but she is literally kissing a fish right here. Now, the Queen of Cups is compassionate. She is sweet and caring and kind and nurturing and all of that good stuff. But without the other elements, because these are both water elements, without the other elements to balance that out, it can sometimes be kind of a monsoon of emotions. So if you're up in your feelings right now, that's okay. I do also think that the retrograde kind of throws in a lot of that, especially when you have different things that aren't working or communication that isn't quite right. You know, it can be really frustrating, so you can get a lot of that emotion. But I feel like it also asks you to tap into that nurturing kind of nature and take care of yourself. It's great that you're taking care of the people around you, but also take care of yourself here. And just be a little bit more patient with yourself and a little bit more gentle as things go wrong. The first question from the spread is, how can I collect my ideas and choose my words? So this is the 9 of Wands. Usually a card of grit and resilience. Here we look more at reflection. The 9s and 10s in the tarot are the endings of a cycle, with the 9s being where we are gathering up all of the pieces and getting ready to apply them. And you see she's got her little chameleon companion, but she is studying. She is actively looking at how she got here. Now, how does that relate to collecting your ideas, choosing your words? This is about looking back and really thinking about the context, thinking about the relationship you have with the person you are trying to communicate with, thinking about the history, looking at your own history with communication and where you may have run into issues, and just sort of adjusting for that. Our next question is, how can I be sure that I'm being heard correctly? Where this last question was about what you say, this is more about how you make sure that it's being received. This is the 8 of Pentacles. So the 8 of Pentacles is interesting because the 8s in this deck are very much my Are We There Yet cards, and sometimes in other decks, but definitely in this one. And the 8 of Pentacles is also a card of internship or apprenticeship. So what that means is you've gotten to a point where you're really good at something. You're very skilled and you are ready to start actively doing it in the real world, you know, like out of the testing situation, but you still feel like somebody is looking over your shoulder. And that's because having done something 100 times 1,000 times is still different than having to do it in the active situation, in the actual, in the moment. In terms of being heard, that sort of feels like here we've done all that reflecting and we're ready to make the adjustments and we've practiced it. We've had the conversation in our head 100 times. And now we have to make sure that the person we're speaking to is listening. This really feels like allowing feedback, and not being upset that the progress you've made still comes with occasional communication upsets. For one, everybody has that from time to time. And for two, if you are dealing with somebody else, then you have to look at both of your history. So it's not always just that you've come so far and it's not working. Sometimes it's just finding that missing piece. Our last question from the spread goes from when we moved from Gemini to Taurus on the 22nd. And we're looking at how can I be more flexible? So that is the Hermit. That is a card of introspection and reflection. So that's the second reflection card. It is very much a card of going into yourself, talking to yourself, your subconscious, really thinking about why you do things, why things happen, and how you really feel about things, how you feel about yourself, who you are. So this is taking a step back from that idea with the Queen of Cups, where you're constantly around people, nurturing, taking care of them, and then taking it a step beyond what I said about taking care of yourself and understanding what those needs are. A lot of times we talk about self-care and we tell you that you can't pour from an empty cup and you have to take care of yourself first. But if you haven't done that in a while, you don't always know what that looks like. You know, it's not always a hot shower and some food. Sometimes you need to get to know yourself again. And that's what the Hermit is about here, is getting to know yourself. What does that have to do with being more flexible? Well, the less we know about ourselves and the more we define ourselves based on who we are to other people, the harder it is to stray from a routine or from a belief system or from just the way that you think things have to go, and your plans, because you don't have that solid core. The more you get to know yourself, the more you can dance around the things that life throws at you. So before we get to the shadow card, I'm just seeing a very clear pattern here of reflection and communication based on who you are, and understanding that somebody else's reaction isn't always about who you are as much as it is just about all of the pieces of what's going on in the moment. Moving on to that shadow card, we have the Ace of Cups. Now this is another very emotional card. This is my cup runneth over. This is literally overflowing with emotion. And you can see there's a lot in her smile, in her, well, her not so much a smile. You can tell she loves all those babies, but she's overwhelmed. She's tired. It's okay if you have something that makes you very happy to need a break from it. So the Ace of Cups is a card of happiness, but it is also a card of just so much emotion. And so for your signifier and your shadow card, we have so much emotion. And then the other cards are begging you to take a step back from that and to get to know yourself and to look at your patterns and to see how much of your communication and your ability to flow or not flow in life has to do with where you put yourself versus where you put others. It is very much asking you to look within and also not to put aside the harder emotions in favor of putting on a happy face. It's okay to have mixed emotions. Happiness doesn't have to be the only thing you show. It doesn't have to be the only thing you feel when there's something good around. The thing is, amazing beginnings, as the ace is the beginning of its suit and also the purest form. beginnings come from endings. So it's okay to be very happy about where you are and what you have and who you're with, while still being a little bit sad for the things that you don't have anymore, the things that you gave up to get here, the people that you miss, the versions of yourself that aren't there anymore, especially if you're having a hard time figuring out who you are. It's very easy to miss who you were, and that's okay. So overall, the spread is asking you to just be a little bit patient with yourself this retrograde. Show yourself the kind of kindness and compassion you show others, and take a moment to just spend some time with yourself and fall in love with yourself again. I used the Nicoletta Ceccoli for the main reading. I did not use the Tarot of the Sweet Twilight, though I did have it on deck for clarification. I feel like this was pretty clear in the message that I was trying to give you. If you have any questions or need any more clarity, though, please comment, and I'll be happy to fill in any of the blanks. But please be kind to yourself. Have a wonderful week.